This is one of my USB adapters that I've made a few sort of prototypes of at the moment, and the USB connection is actually made using this connector here. Now, these connectors, I've never really liked them because they tend to wear over time and get a bit looser, and also if you've got a cable that attaches with tangs to these holes here on top, then it's quite easy to just pull this straight off the board, and this has happened on a few boards that I've sent out. So one of the people that did that made the suggestion that maybe a better way of doing this would be to actually wire a cable onto the board. So this is a board which actually had the connector pulled off. One of the tracks has gone, the power track 5 volts has gone, so you can't really wire a connector back on here and repair it, because you could, but you'd have to run a wire up to that pin, and it's a tricky hand solder component anyway. So what I've done is I've taken a cable with a USB-A on one end, cut the other end off, and I've wired the power and the data lines to components on the board, and the screen here goes down to the ground. And this works as a USB cable, and it actually fits in the case as well, not that way round. So here is where the cable comes out, and that's where the cable used to come out on this ComsLink connector, or ComsLink adapter. So on the ComsLink adapter they had some strain relief here, which goes into that square hole there like that, but the other way around obviously, like this. And then the wires are soldered onto the board along the side here. This is one of the PCBs that fits in a ComsLink or some other serial device, and the wires are here. Here you've got the screw hole and then 2 other holes for putting a cable tie around the cable that's coming in, so it's really securely fixed. It's got strain relief and some pull protection on the cable itself. So it'll probably, to do it properly, this really needs a redesign of the board to remove that footprint and put the holes on and some pads for putting the wires in. But I think that might be a better way of doing the USB, because it's also more repairable, or easily repairable, because swapping one of these surface mount connectors isn't an easy job, but swapping a cable, or just cutting the cable down if something's fallen off, or resoldering it, that is pretty simple. That is something that almost anyone could do, I should think, with a soldering iron. So I'm wondering about changing this design and putting the cable on rather than the socket, but not really sure how that will go down. So if anyone's got any comments, they'd be quite welcome.